Let's do this. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. So let's get started. We got our mastermind going, and today is Emerging Agent Mastermind. That means it's all about agents that are growing their business and going and moving into success. We're going to be covering scheduling and time management, hopefully pretty in depth. If you're a real estate agent, you can tune out for the next 2 minutes because this probably doesn't affect you. If you're any other kind of business owner, business runner, somebody that works, you're going to need to manage your schedule at a very, very high level. It is going to increase your productivity. And the mission today is that there's 2 or 3 nuggets you can take and immediately apply. There's one in particular. We're going to talk about how to set up your hour of power and how that looks so that you can start having very clear directions. This is probably the most powerful thing I've picked up in time management. A little bit of housekeeping. This is an 8-part series. We do this it's 8 weeks in a row, the first through the 4th Thursday of every single month. If there's a 5th Thursday, it's a bonus one. We're just going to do something fun and have a blast. Today, we're in the 2nd series on this one, scheduling and time management. The link for the YouTube channel, if you want all of these and everything else that we do, is in the chat box. Joe, if you drop that in, just copy and paste it in there as we can. Class is going to be broken down into really 3 different segments. The first one is me droning on, and this is the one where I'm just going to show you guys a lot of things, do a lot of lecturing. Then we're going to go into some practical uses of these in the second part of that, from probably around 8:50 to 8:55 to 9:15 plus or minus. The last part of this, the last 30 minutes and all, is open discussion. Any topic, doesn't have to be what we're talking about. It's any real estate question that comes up. It's worth bringing up, and I want you guys to have them, write them down, put them in the chats. We'll get to them. This is all about you. All right. Pardon me. So I have my notes over here. So if you see me looking off camera, that's why, because, that's where everything's kept. Most of us have never worked for ourselves, meaning we've never been our own employers and our own bosses. Managing your schedule is going to be one of the most critical and, quite honestly, the most challenging things you're going to face as an independent owner, a business owner, and an independent contractor. Now, think about that. Normally, if you are working for somebody, your livelihood is predicated on you doing what you need to do and a boss standing over you saying that's either good or that's bad, and there's reports and everything. In this one, nobody's standing behind you. So I want to ask you all a question, and this is serious, and you don't have to answer it, but I want you to kind of think about that. What if you hired me and paid me 50% of your salary with the understanding that you are going to do exactly what I tell you to do? That means when we've got a schedule, we're going to do it. You're going to be on point. There's no distractions. You're going to do that. Does anybody here, show of hands if you're comfortable doing so, does anybody here feel that if they had me over their shoulder, focused on them, telling them what to do, making sure that they're doing what they need to do, that your business would get to the point where I would at least make $100,000, meaning you'd make at least $200,000 if you did exactly what you're supposed to do 5 days a week? Is that fair? Awesome. I appreciate all y'all. And for those that can't see it, there's a bunch of you with your hands up, which is awesome. Here's the fun part. I don't need you to do it 5 hours a day. I don't need you to do it 8 hours a day or 7 hours a day. If you can give me 3 hours a day, I promise you, we're going to show you how to improve your business. And everybody's going in their mind, oh my God, but that's only 3 hours. Can I do it? Yes, you can. Now, that doesn't mean you're only working 3 hours, because when your business starts growing, your afternoons, here's a spoiler alert, your afternoons are where you do your business. The morning is where you do your number one job. And for anybody out there that's not 100% clear, let me help you. Your number one job is gathering business, generating new business, generating leads, the same as it is for a car dealership, for a dentist, for a doctor, for a brain surgeon, for a lawyer. It doesn't matter. If you own a business, you have to bring clients into your business, or even more importantly, communicate with the clients that are already there so you get repeat business. Okay. What are our priorities? I wrote down here, and I think that's important. How do you catch the ideas and thoughts, and what's going on around you? So again, just to bring everybody in, think about this. You're going for a drive, or you're a passenger in a car. That's probably better. Make sure everybody's safe. You're a passenger in a car. You're driving, and this amazing idea comes to your head, something you've got to do. Again, I can only see a couple of you. Anybody here lose those ideas in about 15 seconds if you don't put them down besides me? Am I the only one that is just that scatterbrained? Now, folks, I have and I'm going to coin a phrase from what the heck was that called? Ferris Bueller's. I have a scorching case of ADD. I mean, I'm riddled with it. If I don't really stay on point and cover my distractions, which we'll cover in a minute, I have big issues. So I want to challenge you to have something at your disposal, probably on your phone, because this is what you use every single day and carries with you all the time. I have some suggestions. The first one, if you are using a PC, it's good that it goes from your phone to your computer. That is a very integral part of the success of having something. This is going to be one purpose. How can I capture a thought, have it in a place where I can get back to it? Because there's a really good chance what you're thinking is absolutely brilliant. It's an epiphany almost. You don't undersell your ideas. Your ideas are awesome. And the bottom line is you get to look back at them later. Now, I use a couple of softwares, and I'm going to go through some of the ones that are out there. There's one that is available to anybody that has a PC. It's called OneNote. We also have them if you're a Mac person, you have an iPhone, you have the notes section, the notes tab where you can do that. And if I can share this, and I'm pretty sure I can, I want you guys to see what I'm talking about, because I'm going to go through these, but I'm going to go through these on my phone. Hang tight. You'd think I would have been more prepared for this, but I'm not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of these on my phone real quickly. We have OneNotes. We have mirror matching. This is great. I loved it. I love my computer. All right. You can see it. This is my iPhone. Now, oh, crud. Okay. That was my iPhone. I promise this will be worth it. There we go. All right. There. Yay. This is the OneNote, that little white one right there. Now, this has got a ton of information in it, and you can see this is where you can keep great notes for whatever you decide you want to use. Now, I use another software, and this is called Things. It's in the lower right-hand corner, way down here, and this is probably the best thing I've ever seen. I have my to-do list. This is what's important to me today. This is where I record these notes. This is where I capture an idea that is important to me. Now, the nice thing about Things, bad thing is it costs like $5 a month to have this, but there are different things. Tiffany, Joe, you will notice that you all have a section here for to-dos. See that right there, Joe and Tiffany? If I ask you something, I can follow it. But more important than anything, when I'm driving or when I'm walking, when I go on my morning walks, I just grab my phone, I click on this, and I start recording it. And I record my thoughts on what's going on and what is relevant. I didn't add anything today because I put it in a different section in there. There's also Todoist, which is very, very user-friendly. Folks, if you cannot capture your ideas with a software that helps you capture them immediately, preferably one you can voice dictate into, you're losing some of the power that is with you. Now, think about this. If you're at a class doing something, you got to be able to capture the nugget. Every time you go to a training event like this one right here in this mastermind, I want you to consider that I'm looking for one nugget that's going to change the trajectory of my business. And if you can't find a place to keep that, we're going to run into some challenges. It's going to be very difficult for you to manage your thoughts. They'll become overwhelming and you won't be able to prioritize. And that will slow you down. That's actually something that it takes away the narrow of your focus. There's one other thing I do want to share with you. This is Trello. For all of you that don't know it, let's see. This is Trello, Trello. You can create basically tabs, different setups, it's a great way to organize your thoughts, organize an action plan. If you're interested in playing around with it, you can get a free demo for it, but please don't get bogged down in the minutia. It's simply a matter of saying, I'm going to put something into action, so I need to strategize the exact order. It allows you to do it with movable, tags or tickets, so you can move them around. Sonny, do you have a question on that?
Yeah, what was the one right before it where you said on your iPhone was in the bottom right corner?
That is a thing called Things 3 for the iPhone. Things 3. It is only available currently on iPhones. I live with this. It is the most powerful thing that I've ever used. It is $5. The only flaw is I can't share it. So I can't send something to Tiffany or Joe with that, but it does for me, it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Let's talk. You're welcome. Let's talk about your morning hours, because this is really the most powerful part of your day. Folks, if you don't have a schedule that dictates what you're going to do, You're trying to create it. Dina, I push on you all the time. It needs to be on your calendar. It needs to be on your schedule. If it's not on your schedule, it does not happen. It is the most important part of everything. This is a glance at my schedule. I live by it. If it's not on here, I don't do it. We're right in the middle of this class. Following that is prospecting. Then I'm WOB, which we'll cover in a little bit. I've got a meeting, a workout, and then the icon series. And if I'm doing something at night, it's on my schedule. And here's why. By the way, y'all pay attention to WOB. That's going to be the most powerful thing. You need to not think about what you should do. I can't speak for all of you, but I can speak for me. If I'm sitting here today planning out what I want to do today, I'm pretty darn sure yard work or looking at boats or doing something like going to Costco is going to take precedence over what I don't want to do, which is my job, the thing I'm supposed to do every single day, which is on these calls, prospecting, working on what I need to have taken care of, and anything up until noon that is business related. Now, I asked you all this a little while ago. If I'm standing behind you, and I get half of your salary, but you promise to do exactly what I tell you to do for 4 hours a day. Whoever is not Keith, you're going to have to, somebody is on unmute. I think Keith might have muted himself. We're cool. Listen, if I'm standing behind you for 4 hours a day and you're doing what I ask you to do, I mean, literally on point, nonstop, there's no chit chat. We're working. Most everybody said their business would double enough that I would actually get paid $100,000 to do that with you for 4 hours a day work. And you do the work. Now you're gonna have a lot of follow-up afterwards, but that's fun. That's money but talk. I want you to think about this, that your morning is when you have to protect. Do not, please. Okay, well, let me go through this. It's the most powerful part of your time. If you can go 15, 30, 40, or even 50 minutes without replying to a text message or a phone call or an email or something social media like a Facebook post or Instagram, you're getting there. And it's a habit you're going to have to create over time. It is not something where you can say, right now, I'm just going to plug in for 3 hours and I will get it done. Baloney. You'll get distracted, but that's cool. Every time you get distracted, the next time you plug in, you say, I'm going to do this. See if you can go past that time. It turns out, can y'all see this? This is a big egg timer. It holds 28 minutes worth of time. The reason I know that is because once that's done and I can glance over and look at it, I know that's my limit. I need a break every 30 minutes. I promise you I do. I get up, I go to the kitchen. It's why I have to exercise every day, because my wife has great food in the kitchen and I end up eating it when I should be working. I'm not good at it for an hour yet. And I keep working on it. I've only been doing this for 20 years. So I stack 28-minute times back to back to back to back to back. They start at 9:30. Y'all hear me. On Thursdays, they start at 10 because this is the most important thing. Are you on point at a specific time? Is it on your schedule? Okay. I covered get a timer. Here's a question for y'all. What emergency occurred in your life over the last 2 weeks that you absolutely had to answer right now? And let's say you've had one or two. I'm going to say they're probably family and it qualifies, but business-wise, is there any emergency that if proper planning was done, you would have addressed earlier? Let that sink in. If proper planning was done, you would have addressed earlier. Is there any emergency that required you to give up control of your time and actually do whatever you had to do with zero control over when you did it? You had to do it right then. I challenge everybody here to consider that it's probably because I didn't plan something. I didn't have something systematized. I'm pretty sure it has to do with a closing or a loan or a document that needed to be taken care of that you had forgotten or didn't do. Everything in real estate can wait an hour or two or three. Everybody has to teach their clients, their family, that they have this protected time. And this protected time will give you the freedom that I think everybody here is looking for, in the financial comfort. When I say freedom, apply whatever your big why is, but it requires you to protect these morning hours. Thank you for being on the call for this. This is important. I covered that. Folks, do me a favor, remove the temptations. If you're able to do it, I do it on my email. My email triggers and it goes off at the top of the hour. That's the only time I want to see new email. You can put your phone on airplane mode and it's not going to go off. Remember, you're only talking about 30 minutes. Here's the funny part. You'll forget it. It'll be off for about 3 hours and you're going to love the fact that your phone doesn't blow up. You have to protect this time. It is so important. Get these temptations out of the way. I drink a lot of water. So this shows up all the time in my place. I got my cup and I got a big bucket of water. So I don't have to get up. However, at these 20-minute breaks, I will tell you, I do maybe have to use the restroom. I wrote this down. Why must you do this daily? And the real question is why? What is your big why? What's the motivation for you? You got into real estate for something. You're doing real estate, practicing real estate, learning to hone your craft for something. There's a reward here. I was in the restaurant business my entire life. I went into real estate because, well, there's a long story behind the boss that I worked for. I'm not going to mention Dave Jenkins' name. That'd be inappropriate. That son of a bitch, horrible, horrible man. I will not mention Dave Jenkins' name. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to disparage him. 65-year-old guy hitting on 18-year-old hostesses. Again, not mentioning bad person Dave Jenkins' name. Won't do that publicly. But that's why I switched, because my vice president, Dave Jenkins, was just a bad person. I went into real estate because I didn't see my kids. I wanted to see them. So for me, freedom was time. What's yours? Why are you here? Make sure that's in front of you all the time, because you need to do it. You need to know what it is on a constant basis. You're going to design and build your schedule around what you want in real estate. And I promise you, you will need to overshoot. If you say, I just want to close 10 homes, your goal should be 20. Now, I cannot help it if you actually hit your goal. Okay, that's on you. I got no credit for that. If you actually succeed at such a level that you went, I want 10, but you closed 20 transactions, you deal with the pain of that. I hope they tax you a little bit more. I hope that you're busy. I hope that you have the freedom to go on great vacations. I hope that you have the freedom to do whatever you choose to do. It's important that you know why you're doing this, though. And I do want to challenge you to overshoot your goals. When you're here tomorrow talking with Tom, we tend to focus a lot on coaching on Fridays, which is really awesome. When you think coaching, think, how am I going to reposition my business to be amazing? And what do I need to know? What are my numbers? This is all stuff you're going to learn. And this is covered every single Friday we go through this. All right. I want you guys to get an annual plan first. This is the very first thing you're going to do. I talk about this all the time. I'm going to drop a link in here if you want to order one. This is what it looks like. You can get this from Amazon. It's really, really cheap. And I'm dropping the link in the chat box. Hope I am. Yep, there we go. If you don't have one of these, you need to. I don't know what it looks like either, so bear with me a second. It's one of those big calendars. It's an annual calendar that has all the months in there. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take care of your months and your vacations where you're going on. Put a big red line through those days. Those are your vacation days. Those are the days you promise your family you're going to do this. And here, a little secret. They cost $16.95. Buy the 2022 one. I don't care about $16. I sure hope you don't. But put right now what's happening from this day forward, which is actually Thursday, the 11th. Got it right that time. From Thursday, the 11th of August forward, what does your schedule look like? When is your vacation? How much time are you taking off for Christmas or for the holiday season? Are you going somewhere for New Year's? Put it on the big calendar so you see it. That is mission critical. What is your repeating family obligations? They're non-negotiable. I will tell you that graduation from school, a parent-teacher event, that's all the stuff. It's not going to go on there. But if there's a weekly obligation where your child has something that you have to be committed to every week, put it on your schedule so you know it. Your big board schedule as well. That's mainly vacation time, weekends off, if you choose to have them, days off. It's an overview of what your world looks like. Your weekly days off are critical. For the people I can see, and there's a fair amount of you on this call, how many of you are guilty of saying, I'm going to take a day off, but you don't really take a day off? You're actually on the computer doing stuff where you shouldn't be. Sometimes you may actually hear from your wife, Manoush, what are you doing? I thought we said we were going to do something today. I know that I've heard this because I'm guilty of it. The reason you don't take a day off is when you're working, you're not really working. Now, that's a tough one to swallow. But if you got the stuff done you needed to get done, I was standing over your shoulder, you'd have the time with the day off and you would have earned it. Now, yes, of course, we still have to check our phones and sometimes check our emails, but do we really need to do what we're doing? Is it that mission critical, or do we just not get to it the other time of the when we're actually working? Maybe we didn't record it and have an idea of something important and it showed back up on Sunday. Oh, look at that picture of my wife. Showed back up on Sunday and said, oh gosh, I got to get this done. And the reason it did is it came back to you, but you forgot to actually grab the thought. If you have the thought, you can address it later. Power hours. This is where we get into the schedule. Okay. The power hour is your morning. I'm going to share my schedule with y'all because I want y'all to see this. Have a consistent start time. Know that you're going to be focusing on and know what you're going to be focusing on and when. I'm going to stop right there and share something with you. This is the part I want you guys to get. If we're on my schedule, this is this week. I'm going to go to next week. Next week, I have all the classes. These just show up on my calendar. I have them saved there. They're also, if you go to gpsglobalpartners.com, you will see under the calendar training and coaching link is all of our events. They have the keys to get into them. Everything that's in brown on my schedule shows up on there. It's important for you to have it. We wanted to make it available. So I obviously do my prospecting from 10 to 10:55. And then I do something called WOB. And that's 1 hour where I'm dedicated to it. I do not do that on Tuesdays because I do some coaching on Tuesdays and I've got other things going on. And I normally don't do WOB on Fridays. I have 3 days, but I had an extra time so I could do it. What is WOB? Working on business. If you don't have a time slotted out there for you, we got a challenge. Here's a challenge. You need to, but you don't need to fill it in yet. Now you'll notice that on my WOB right here, I have YouTube information. If I click on that, it says YouTube format for Jaime and Joe. That's awesome. Now, that came up 3 days ago, and I didn't have an opening until then, so I put it on there, but that's what I'm working on. This is the one that was kind of cool. This I am going to share this with you. WBO, it's database and the 10 days of pain. And at the end of this, I want to share with you guys what the 10 days of pain looks like. That's the follow-up for new internet leads that come in. And it's 10 days of ongoing communication. In fact, I have, I think, 27 touch points through that, and I'll share it with everybody. It's actually already in GPS Global Partners under links and classes, which is under the More button. You'll see it right there. It's literally the document, the 10 days of pain. You can copy and paste it in there. I don't have anything for Thursday, but here's the fun part. When I'm doing my morning walk, when I'm going back and forth, I've got my phone with me and I'm like, this is a great idea. I got to work on this. You know what? If it's that good, I just open up my calendar on my phone and I type in what I got to work on so I don't have to think about it, because everybody, I mean, every one of us, just makes you normal. If you're trying to schedule what you're going to do today, it's too real. You're actually going to do it. You'll probably schedule, have a bonbon and go to the gym. This is work time. I want you to tell you what to do, your future you what to do, but you have to have that schedule timed out. Now, some of you are new licensed agents. I hope you are, because this is we're really focusing on every agent, but for new agents, I want you to consider. There's a whole lot going on and you've got a lot of learning to do. You may actually block this out. You've got to lead generate. There's no question about it. The thing is, you have more time than you have money. So when you're talking about, in our case, KV Core, I want to learn how to do KV Core, but I don't really want to do it. So what if you time blocked 30 minutes a week or 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week for the next 3 weeks, because you have more time than money? And don't pay somebody to do it, but put it on your schedule. If it's on your schedule, you'll do it. Here's the part you get to do that's really cool. Stop being creative. Follow what your boss, your schedule tells you to do. If you can stay on point for 90% of the time, you will far and above exceed most everybody else. Here's the cool part. If you can stay on point for 3 hours a day, 4 is ideal, 3 hours a day, you're going to be 90% better than, or you'll be so much better than 90% of the agents. And in fact, that last 10% is where 90% of the money is. Staying on point all the time, it will get you to your goal faster than anything else. But please stop being a daily manager, start being a planner for your business. And remember, you have amazing ideas thrown at you all day. How do you capture them? How do you plan on working them? WOB. That's your time to work on your business. You also have, as you saw mine, prospecting. For the newer agents, I would strongly encourage you to start jumping into icon classes, any icon classes, but put it on your calendar as it is on mine. Me, 20 years, mine. I'm going to be on that because I'm going to get one thing that's going to change my 10 days of pain and make it even better so that I have a greater conversion rate. And that's what I'm looking for, that one time. Now, of course, I'm sitting down in front of my computer, so I'm going to write it down on my pad of paper because I always have one beside me. But if I'm driving and I'm using this, because you can automate this, you can literally listen to that class on your phone while you're driving. In the middle of it, grab your phone, press your little things or your Todoist or whatever note capturing. By the way, here's your options: OneNote, Notes, Todoist, Things 3. Anything else you got may work, but I promise you it won't be as effective. You want a good system that you can immediately open and put your ideas down because you will lose them in 10 to 15 seconds. And some of them are brilliant. Now you know when to work on them after you're done prospecting. Just so we get it out of the way, following up is not prospecting. That's what you do in the afternoon. Am I clear? Following up on leads is not prospecting. Prospecting is generating new business. Working on your business is not following up and it's not prospecting. It's building your business stronger. Let's talk about some additional tips. Learn to say no. Hey, can you help with this? No, I have an appointment. Hey, oh, by the way, doctor's appointments, schedule them in the afternoon. Seriously. Or, I love this. All right, pay attention, everybody. Right here, looking right here. Schedule them in the morning and own the fact that you don't want to do your work. I know that. I used to schedule mine in the morning because I didn't want to do my work and it got me off. So if you're going to do that, own it. And honestly, just run with it. Hi, Alethea. Love your name. Had to call her out. All kidding aside, if you're going to schedule something in the morning, let your family know. Jackie, I'm scheduling something in the morning because I'm not going to do my work. There. Okay. Does that make sense?
Oh, hell you're not.
I'm sorry?
Oh, hell you're not, George.
What's up, Pierre? How are you, brother? We're recording, so I'm going to call you Pierre for right now. Listen, if you're going to build a Trello board on a project, that's terrific. Trello board works really, really well. I always like to put 3 to 5 small items that are a part of my to-do list. Your to-do list does not get done and you're working on your business. Does not get done in your prospecting. It's done afterwards. I like to do that, or maybe it's done before, but it stops when your schedule says go on something else. You can set up timers on your schedule. Please utilize this. What we're trying to do is keep you on track because time management is the death of almost all businesses. Does anybody here believe that if I stood behind them and we found out what your sweet spot was, it could be door knocking, prospecting, for sale by owners, withdrawals, expireds, open houses, database, it doesn't matter. Does anybody here, show of hands, have a confidence that if I stood behind them, they would become really good at that really quick with me coaching them for 4 hours a day, every day? Keeping them on point. Will, put your hand up or I will go to, you're right down the street. I swear to God, I'll go to your house and I'll slap you in the head. Every single one of you will improve. Myself too. If you had somebody, I could put any one of y'all behind me and say, just keep me on point. I'm going to have a huge difference as well. I want to challenge you to not need somebody, but maybe include your family in this. Let them know that this is what I'm trying to do. And tell them all I want is positive encouragement. I am going to probably not succeed at 100% right off the bat. So when I come and I do that, encourage me that I'm doing the right thing. And then I'm making the effort. And that's the point. And stay on point. You can do better tomorrow. Have them participate in your success. All right. Your workspace is important. Now, y'all don't see it. You see this really cool thing behind me that Joe and I made. But I have over here, I have my drive board that says, this is it right here. Workout, quiet time, reflect, prospect, 10 concepts, follow up, which is work on business, 20 social media interactions. And then I also have the work on business section. That's on my board. I see that every day. I also wrote on there, what you think about, you become. I have everything I need right in front of me. It's right here. And there are 0 distractions. My emails don't go off until every top of the hour. It just went off right now and they dropped in like 10 emails. My text messages at this point is on, but it's definitely muted because I don't want any interruptions while I'm on the call. And the only people that get by is my wife and my children with a bypass. Tom Martin used to, but I cut him off because he calls all the time. And I'm kidding. He's actually the only other bypass on there. And Tiffany is too. Just had to throw that out there. Bottom line is, though, I protected my area. This is very, very safe for me. I can do what I need to do. And I want you to do that as much as possible. At the end of your power hours, You build the next days or the week's projects. I'm going to change that a little bit. And I actually have to make that change. I actually do it all the time. My goal by the end of this week is to fill up next week's power hour by working on my business hour. And I'm filling that up with things that are important that have to get done, but I don't have time and I can't schedule it. Because the truth is, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I like to be done. I like to be out talking to clients and talking to agents and having fun and coaching and mentoring. That's my passion. I do the other stuff because I can't live without that. You can't either. Get it through your head. We got to do this. All right. I wrote this down and you get to hear it again. If it's not on your calendar, it's not real. It doesn't happen. I want you to get to the point that on your calendar, date night is written in there. Mine is. I know if Jackie and I are doing something, I absolutely put it on my calendar. If my kids have something to do, it's on my calendar, or Jackie puts it on my calendar so that I know it's there. She shares it with me. Your calendar should be what you're doing. And if it's blank and open and you want to go do something so nobody else gets into your calendar, please block it out and say, this is personal time, and then do something personal. It's okay. If you let your calendar work, you will do amazing. Let's see. Annabelle, I love your QR code. Annabelle has a QR code for all of you that can see it. If you're watching this if you're watching these live, you can actually see it. Really, really cool. Last thing I wrote, and we're going to go into some live theory at this point. Be kind to yourself, please. It takes 21, unfortunately, or 66 days to create a habit. Plan on 66 days. You're going to need to be on point for 66 days in a row. 66 days in a row. You're going to need to do this nonstop. Now, I'm not asking you to prospect for 66 days in a row or working on your business. I'm asking you to manage your schedule and follow your schedule for 66 days. It'll take that long to create a habit, and you probably won't be perfect. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just say, I can do better than this, and I'll do better tomorrow. Positive reinforcement. If you see where you're going to be, I am a person who follows my schedule. That's what your body will actually draw you to. If you say, I am a successful real estate agent, and you say that to yourself enough, you will become a successful real estate agent, not simply by sitting on your laurels, but that'll actually cause you to take action because your mind interprets that's who you are and your body follows what your mind thinks. Do you know the number one best way to lose weight is to constantly tell yourself, and because you'll start acting that way, that I am a X, you put your weight in here, and I only put nutritious foods and supplements into my body. If you say that enough time, it is the one way that's been proven to maintain long-term weight. If you believe this is who you are, and you have every passion to this, it will occur. If you believe that you're a great real estate agent, it will occur. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Is it going to be ups and downs? Absolutely. Is it going to be challenging and scary and sometimes very depressing? Of course it is. But remember, you are a great real estate agent. Your schedule is one of many tools, and it's the one that allows you to work on everything else. All right. So that's it for the class right here. Joe, remember this. I don't know what time it is, but this is something I'm going to ask you to play with in a little bit. 37 minutes in. We'll kind of stop it at that point. I want to do something special. I'll talk to you about it in a little while. Real live application of this. You got to get one of those big calendars. You really do. And put your vacations on there. And for everybody here, focus, pay attention to this. It's important. Put your vacations that you don't think you're going to be able to do, but put them on there. Okay. You want a vacation somewhere, put it on there. It's a great thing to work for. And I need it somewhere where you can see it. If you have an environment, a work environment where you can physically see what is going on in your schedule, in your calendar, and you know that a month and a half from now, you're going on vacation, you're going to, I don't know, Hawaii. You got a bunch of mileage points saved up. You know you can hop out there. It's going to be fun. By the way, for anybody that's an LLC, this is a little footnote. If you're going to go to Hawaii and you're going with somebody else, I would encourage you to have that person be one of the board members of your corporation, an LLC or a PA. And the reason for it is you can take one trip a year, which is a meeting, kind of like a shareholders meeting, and it can be anywhere in the world, and it can be up to 15 days, and it's 100% write-off. Hawaii, 100% write-off. Spend $10,000. It's $2,500 plus or minus in tax savings that you don't have to pay tax on. So that trip actually gets cost down, not $10,000. It'll actually cost you net time over time about 7,500, which is substantially less. But I don't have the money. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're looking at that on your calendar and you're like, I'm going to Hawaii in a week, in a month and a half, and I just got my free airline tickets, and holy crap, I don't have enough money. I know what I'll do. I'll work. You can do this. Create your environment. It's really important. I can't tell you the power of putting something on your phone right now. The one action item, 2 action items, and I want you guys to grab today. I want you to have some software on your phone where in an instant we could talk about something. You're like, wait, that's a great idea. You press the record button and go, holy cow, that's a great idea. In fact, I'm right here. You can barely see it. I'm on my phone right now. Holy cow, that's a great idea! Exclamation point. Now the question is, does it show up here? Yep. So I'll share my screen real quick. This is things which I use and I swear by it, and it's fantastic. So I just put this here and there it is. Now here's one of the cool things with things, and I'm not selling this. I'm simply saying it worked really well for me. Can you all see the screen? Everybody, can you see it, Joe? He's all right, cool. Thanks, brother. In this one, you can actually change the dates. I could say, well, I really don't want to get to this one till here, or I can do it someday. And if it shows up someday, it's going to come into my someday file, which has got a lot of notes. So if I'm pulling stuff off, this is where I go. If I got other projects that I didn't get to right now, this tells me what I have to do today. Got to do that one too. And that one's done. So it gives you kind of a run through of what you're supposed to do. If you don't have something that records and captures these notes, these ideas, these jewels that you come up with. And by the way, when I say jewels, because I've gone panning for jewels before, and I think it was in a putt-putt thing. But in doing so, most of the jewels I had were just rocks. They weren't really any good. But there was a couple that were pretty, and a couple made a big difference. And I still have one of them. I want you to consider, you don't give yourself enough credit. You have a lot of ideas running through your brain that just let them go. I want you to grab them and then put them in a place where you can get to them and then look at them. Some of these ideas are going to be so inspiring. You're going to be like, oh my God, I need to do that. Then put it on WOB, working on your business. Put it down and give it a day. That's its day. And then do the work. Every one of us has the possibility to move our business 1% per day, even over the weekends, because there's going to be days where you move at 5 or 10%. You're like, wow, what an amazing day. 3 things are going to occur. Number 1, you will feel fantastic after putting in 3 or 4 hours of good work, good energy. Number 2, your business is actually going to move. And over the course of around 3 months, which is when momentum comes in, you're going to find that all of a sudden your business is 100% more powerful than it was just a couple months ago. That your skill set has increased dramatically. Folks, if you're a newly licensed agent, an emerging agent, this is mission critical. You really have 3 things you must be doing. Moving the needle on bringing your business forward. There's so many things that you're not comfortable or familiar or really proficient at. And that's where working on your business, that's where your extra time is, because you have time, usually at this point. You must work on your business. You must prospect every day. You don't have the luxury of a lot of repeat clients. You're going to have to go out and find them. It's hard work, and you're going to do it for 3 years. And at the end of that 3 years, you're going to have freedom and a financial well-being that is unparalleled. I told a lot of you this before, and I want to read a couple of these notes in just a few seconds. I told a lot of, actually, Tiffany, do me a favor. Can you scan through the notes and just bring up something important? I'm going to turn it over to you and we can address any questions that come up that need answering. I've told everybody this before. I'm going to tell you guys again. My schedule was, I got up at 5:50 every morning because 6 was too late. And from 6 to 7, I worked out. From 7 to 7:30, I fed my kids. From 6 to 7, worked out, take a shower. 7 to 7:30, fed my infant children. 7:30 to 7:40, I was chanting my script. 7:40 to 7:50, I was role playing with my role play partner, usually objection handling. And because we couldn't get on the phone until 8 o'clock at 7:50, I got on the phone and I started dialing. I only called for sale by owners, and I called them for 3 hours a day. I called them from 7:50 to 9, from 9 to 9:10. I took a break from 9:10 to 9 or to 10 o'clock. I was on the phone again. And then from 10 to 10:05, I took a break. From 10:05 to 11, I was on the phone again. I did that for 3 years. I built my business, and then I started getting repeat business pretty quickly. I added farming in there over the time. I sold 26, 28, and 30 homes, and then it jumped up to 50 and then 150. Do you see momentum occurs? For all of you out there, I'm not brilliant. I'm a dog on a bone. I don't have a secret sauce. Put in the work. I have the freedom to do pretty much what I want when I want at this point because I did. Now, for some of you who have been in this for a while, this is real important. Whatever you're doing right now, 5 years from now, probably isn't going to work. You're going to have to keep evolving. Okay. We're going through a change. There's a shift in the market. I am so excited. I can't see straight. There's opportunities all over the place. You can capitalize on those current opportunities and what the current market is doing by working on your business while you're working in your business, by having a schedule that will give you the power to know what you're supposed to be doing. And the person that's creating that schedule, especially the working on your business part, is not you current day. It's the boss yesterday who said this must get done. Do not try and put into your schedule today, this is what I think I'll do, because you're going to be eating bonbons and you're going to be fat sitting on the couch. I know this because I ate bonbons. I'm fat sitting on the couch. Actually, I was fat. I'm not going to put that in my brain. I am now 197.5 man that eats healthy food and only puts healthy product into my body, and wine and occasionally scotch, but usually just wine. No idea where I was going. God, I did really well. I got like 45 minutes into this without losing my attention completely. Did this resonate with anybody? Has anybody got something they want to add? Pierre? Tiff, anybody, any comments in there that we need to address?
We already addressed them via chat.
Oh, right on. Cool.
You're doing a fantastic job. I needed that time management.
Stay on this, guys. It's all you. Thank you, Star. Appreciate that. All right. So normally what we do is I started the talk and I just kept on going on here. Real life stuff was, how do I put into use my software? How do I schedule what I'm doing? And please don't try and schedule it today. Schedule for next week. Use these great ideas. Capture them. Use these ideas. Most important on your schedule is, of course, going to be prospecting. That is your job as an emerging agent. It is job. It's every single person. I still have that on my schedule. It used to be 3 hours. It's 1 hour a day now. Okay. That's the luxury of database. It starts to work for you. However, y'all may have noticed I put on my schedule, my working on my business, my 10 days of pain. It's pretty good. It's very good. I need it great. So I'm taking a class today so I can add to it on Tuesday, and then I'm focusing for an hour on there on Tuesday. And if I don't get it done, I'll put it down on Thursday or next week. Leave good follow-up notes, and I'm going to stay on it. I want to challenge you guys to stay on what works, to stay on what you need to do, like a dog on a bone. Prospect. Work on your business and improving your skill set through training. These are your 3 responsibilities as a newly licensed agent, as an emerging agent. They're going to take up the majority of your day. I like to say that you work until noon, but working till noon is usually going to be a couple hours of prospecting, lead generating, unless you're doing open houses. And then I don't want to hear from you unless you're doing an open house twice a week on Saturdays and Sundays, and you're making your calls on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and even Fridays to find the perfect house so that you can do the open house. Because this is my favorite excuse. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting passionate about this. Well, I tried calling on Monday and nobody had a house. How the hell is that working on your business? You know what that is? It's a cop-out. Call it what it is. Just say it. I didn't like talking to people, so I don't want to do it. Then find something else. Okay. This is the hard conversation. I love you guys. You get this. But I had this conversation thrown at me. You must do the job you don't want to do to get to where you absolutely must be. It's not going to just show up. It's not going to show up. You can spend a ton of money and buy a bunch of leads. I promise you, if you're not working on your skill set, you don't know what you're doing, you have zero follow-up in your systems, your tools aren't duplicatable, you wasted your money. You're not going to be able to do anything with the leads. I wouldn't recommend spending a lot of money on leads. That's not the way to build a business. You build a business through relationships. Sometimes you don't have some, so those are where you're prospecting. Circle prospecting, door knocking, doing open houses. Back to the open houses. If you call me and say, I'm just having trouble with this, nobody will answer their phone. Call more people. but nobody wants to give me an open house. Check your script. It's in the open house class. But do the work. I hated making those calls. That's the truth. I didn't like it. I got hung up on all the time. It was rejectionful, but I didn't have a choice. And here's the part that's going to eat you up at night. Did you do what you're supposed to do today? Or did you really cop out on yourself? Now, sometimes you're going to cop out. It's okay. I did. The truth is, I only called about 3.5 days a week, not 5. I made doctor's appointments. I said, I'll take the kids to the dentist or whatever they had to do because I didn't want to call. But I built my environment up so well that I didn't have a choice, because at that point, my wife was like, why aren't you on the phone? We need the money. Get working. So I built in excuses if I could. I tried to make excuses. Don't do that. Get to work. Get the tools in place. You're emerging agents. You all will sell 80% of the business in 5 years. It'll be you guys, the brand new agents. 80% of the real estate sold 5 years from now will be from agents who aren't even licensed yet or just licensed. But you're not going to succeed without skills, without commitment to your time, without commitment to you, and without outside people knowing what you're trying to do so they can help you in your accountability. That's the end of my lecture. Now I'm going to go to the positive side. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. I know that. Most of you don't know this, so I'll share this, and it's not a bragging, it's the truth. I'm a high school dropout. I did do a little bit of college, went to Boulder, Colorado. Nobody graduates from, all right, 5 people graduate from Boulder. I am not one of them. I studied rock climbing and skiing. It turns out I'm very good at both of those. I have ADD, which is a learning disability, and it's legitimate. I mean, I'm properly diagnosed for it, and they give me stuff for it, but I don't like to take it because it makes me feel funny. And I can do this because I got workarounds. Some of you are going to have challenges that you're facing as well. Ron White said this, I'll quote it, said, I'm smart, but you just can't prove it on paper. That's true. But I got workarounds because I got hurdles I got to get over. I got things that interfere with me. Y'all do too. That's okay. That just makes you a person. So what's your workaround? And are you committed to you? Are you committed to the people that are important to you, which I'm hoping are somewhere on your board, somewhere in your vision of why you're actually doing this? Don't ever forget that there's an entire tribe of people that believe in you, that'll stand with you. They're here every day, helping you, focusing on you because you really matter. In fact, there's a bunch of people that love you, that think you're amazing, that you're the most important person in the world. Particularly, that's not me this time, except for about 3 of you. And that's actually not true. They're all in the other room or at school right now. But it doesn't change the fact that I love you and I think you're amazing. And I think you have potential that you know you have, but you haven't unlocked because something's getting in your way. I would encourage you to jump on a Wednesday call and let the Godfather see if he can help get that crap out of your system. I know he can. He's really good at getting into that. But I want you to focus on you. You deserve it. And you can do whatever you put your mind to. For that, I am 100% sure. Everybody here said, if you were standing behind me, I can do it. I can't do that with everybody. But pretend I am and do what you're supposed to do, because you deserve amazing. And I expect wonderful things from you because you are genuinely unique. Nobody has your secret gifts. What is it? How do you amplify it? How do you bring things to it to allow that gift to be incredible? Because there's a 1 in 50 billion chance that somebody's exactly like you. You have something very unique to offer. Find it, exploit it, and then share it with the world because they want it. Thank you for sticking with me. I think we had like 55 people that are still here. What are y'all, crazy? You don't have something better to do than listen to this old fart talk? Let's open it up.
We love you, George.
Thanks, Star. Let's open it up for Q&A. Any topic, well, anything. Let's finish up with what we got here. Any questions on that? Any comments? Anything? This is your time. I'm going to keep this quiet for a couple minutes until you guys have a chance to talk, and then we'll go into the Q&As on any topic real estate.
Thank you, George. That
You're
was
very
awesome.
welcome. Krista, thank you for that. There's a new series and training in there, Level Up. Amazing. Thank you, Krista. That's going to happen right now.
Yeah, George, I just wanted to mention, I keep telling people, Sundays, put it in your calendar. Look at the EXP calendar and see what classes interest you. And I'm always putting them in my calendar. And sometimes I can make it, sometimes I don't. But like you said, if it's not in your calendar, you're forgetting what it is.
100%. Thank you, Krista. So I'm going to check into that. And here's what my commitment is and what I end up doing with that. If it's really, really positive, what I'll probably do is put it in the Jumpstart checklist as well, because there's a couple things in there that we need to sign up for that are additional resources for all of us as new emerging agents to be even better. I got to tell you, Will, I love the backdrop you got right there. That's kind of funny. Shameless shout out for maybe. There we go. Shameless shout out. Anybody that's not doing something on Thursday, we are doing a pivot and shift class, which is really just what's going on Thursday. This is in Orlando. It's kind of fun to say this is obviously this guy with more hair is me. Jackie is the top agent in Brevard County. This is in Orlando. Beth and I opened up our office together. She's one of my very best friends. She's now the broker and owner of the KW Office Classic. And Carrie Light joined us in 2005 at our Waterford Lakes office. This was an office. It was a powerhouse. Anyway, we are teaching or having this class, and this is next Thursday, a week today. Tiff, I will definitely need somebody to take over for that class. You and I touched on that. Next week's class is, Tiffany, what's next week's class? Well, working with buyers, the tools. Okay, so I've got a syllabus that has all the tools and links to these tools. I'm going to need somebody to run it for me. If there's somebody that wants to run or try working, doing this, leading this class, let Tiffany know. It is not a high complex class. It's really just sharing what works. If you've got some experience working with a buyer, your authentic stories are going to be hugely valuable. And while it may seem daunting, you're actually going to enjoy the process of being able to share with your partners. So if anybody's interested, reach out to Tiffany or Joe or me. Would love to have you take over the class for me because I will not be here. I'm going to be doing this. Anyway, that was my shameless plug. Krista, thank you so much for that. I'm going to put that to use. And Will, seriously, where's my picture, dude? Keep it up.
Hey, George, quick question. Are we going to do another Zoom for business?
I'm not sure I understand that, Krista. Are you talking like our Friday masterminds that are really kind of business focused, or what? Oh, I think we froze her.
She's saying business planning, George.
Business.
Tom usually does that one.
100%. Thank you very much, Pierre. That 100%. Yeah, Tom does regularly, and Tom is an expert at these classes. Regularly, we'll do business planning clinics, and our mission is to have something that big, make sure it's streaming. And we're working on with Deep and a couple others of us and Tiffany to have that available to everybody where you can jump in even if you're not there. Is that kind of where you're going with that, Krista?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it was great last year. So hopefully we can do it again.
Well, 100%. So our goal is for that, Krista, just because this is a great class, but it absolutely has to be taught in person. We're working on this in Central Florida, and our mission is to share it with the entire, with the global EXP, is to have a way to have monthly classes that are there, but there's some big ones that are really for the entire GPS group, all of our partners, and really anybody. That business class needs some technology. We need to be able to mic up 4 people at one time and have the Zoom and the audio be flawless. And we're working on the best software at which to do so. And I'll make the investment in it in a second. I just want to make it one time and have it be right. But I want to make sure that they're passed on at a high level, Krista. So thank you for asking about that.
Right. And I can do that here in Boca if you guys want, as long as you teach me how to do things. I'm welcome
or
to
Tom
do
and
it
I
as
can
well.
write off a business trip and go to Boca, and then he can
That'll be
stand on the
great.
beach and kick sand in my face because, I'm the 98-pound weakling and he's Tom Martin.
Let's do that. We have
would love
300
to.
agents down here. So
Yeah, I
thank
know.
you.
Absolutely love to. In fact, Tiffany, would you do me a favor and send out a text to Tom and myself? Say, gentlemen, you've just both been invited down to the Boca area to teach a business planning class in September to get it started. And then Tom and I will go down and do that because that would be just fun.
I will do
Krista,
that if you put the correct Eventbrite link into the chat, please. The link you put in isn't working. I also tried it.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got no clue.
Okay, we'll work on that. But I'm
You
gonna
see,
do
I
that.
put my hand there.
I may have a workaround. Anybody else for the greater good? Anything we need to talk about that we covered with scheduling and all that fun stuff?
Hey, George, I know you just talked about Level Up,
Mhm.
but the new mentor series, Go, they've been previewing it. So that's coming
How
up.
how is it?
Okay, I'll say okay. I mean,
That-
but,
well, to be
but
fair,
it's a good,
period-
I'll be fair here. It's a good starting point, but
Right.
I mean, we know what we do and we're just outstanding in what we do. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Well, and to be fair for all of you, I can't unmask the masked singer right here, so we're going to call him Pierre. Probably the best I've seen at taking. He has a skill set. We could talk about that once we stop the recording afterwards, and then we can kind of unmask who he is. There's a skill set that he has that is just absolutely crazy. I can't tell you how awesome it is watching that. Watching what you do. So for you to say it's pretty good, that's a big statement because the way you do it is extraordinary when you're mentoring and leading. That's just my personal opinion.
Thank you, George.
My pleasure.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And the KISS formula is always the best with time planning. You just got to commit to putting in your calendar when you don't have anything in there, then that should be an alarm, right? And I put into the chat earlier, the ditch it, do it, or delegate it. I've lived by that all my business life. Ditch it, do it, or delegate it. There's nothing like practicing a triple D philosophy. And then your planning, what Krista brought up is one of the things I always say is if you don't set 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes on a Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning with your coffee, whenever it is, that you have a 30-minute evaluation of the previous week and a 30-minute of planning the next week, and including the educational opportunities and so on and so forth. And of course, blocking out these meetings, which I have blocked out on every day. So thank you for that. That was powerful. And the more we can commit to our schedule, we can't manage the clock, can't manage time. We can only manage our priorities, right? So that was a great job, man. Fantastic.
Thanks, brother, very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so the link isn't working. I'm going to get that fixed in just a couple minutes. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Terrific.
George, can I make a comment?
Always deep.
First of all, amazing class. Even for somebody who's been in the business 17 years, I love the nuggets and like what you said, right? We get off track so easily. We need to put the blinders on and just focus ahead. One thing I've learned in the last 7 to 8 years that I've to religiously do this. I get up and I make my day as if I'm about to get a listing. I'm about to work with 10 buyers. I'm ready in my office, no matter what I have on my schedule. So working on your business, it comes from there. If you're gonna sit around, I'm gonna wait for the call to come through, then I'm gonna go take a shower. It does not work that way. It's no different than Starbucks opens at 5 in the morning. If they just waited for somebody to show up at the front door, then they open the door, it would work. It does not work that way. If somebody calls me now, I can walk out of my office, ready to go show $1 million home in minutes, in seconds. So change your mindset, change. This is a business. We keep on saying this over and over. What you put in is what you're gonna get out. Having a membership to a gym is not gonna help you if you don't show up in the gym. That's it.
Deep, thank you very much.
Preach.
Thank you,
Listen,
Deep.
the website for the Eventbrite that I shared with everybody, it actually works. Eventbrite is down completely. So if you've clicked on that, keep it in your Safari or whatever opens up on your phone. It will refresh shortly. We'll keep checking it through the call. But Eventbrite as a whole is down, which is highly unusual. So hopefully it'll come back up shortly. The class is next Thursday. Tiffany, would you do me a favor for I think we can segregate it out for Central Florida. We can also segregate out for South Florida as well. So along with Krista, what Krista was saying, with Tom and I coming down and doing that class, I'm going to be more of a spectator. He's the lead in business planning. He's awesome. But maybe let's do this. Send a message out to everybody that I'll be doing that, if you would, through KV Corp, please, with the link. But let's make sure it works first. You guys can do it a little bit later. All right, let's call it a day and go into some serious, any question, any topic open. This is all about you getting your answers. You want to stop the recording on this, Tiff? Should we stop that or do you